In this video, I'm talking about 3 supplements that can be used for death in space. First is Solo Orbits, which is a solo death in space adventure, very short and to the point. The Wretched, which is actually a storytelling game, but I feel it can be used as prompts in death in space. Station Xenos, which is actually a standalone adventure that I will be diving into. So let's get into this. Welcome to Solitary RPG. Solo Orbits is a standalone adventure that can be played solo, and it's kind of just very reminiscent to me of Dark Fort, which is the foundation or the game that Merkborg was based on, and how this game is pretty much designed to get you used to playing the game. You got your character and you just go through a adventure, rolling some dice, generating a dungeon. This is very similar to that, which is cool because it's a great way for somebody that is wanting to play solo and trying to get used to the death in space rules. This gives you an opportunity to take those rules and play the game. And I really liked it. I got this from the recent sale at Exalted Funeral. I think it was $4. It came with the printed copy and the PDF. Now, I will say, for me, the print on this is very small and hard for me to read. Um, I do have my glasses on and I still struggle with some of the reading on this because just it's small print. But I do have the PDF. Unfortunately, the PDF doesn't have a print friendly version of it. So if I print it out, it's a lot of black ink. So what I'll probably end up doing is taking it to the office store and just printing it at the office store using the ink up in their toner cartridges and not mine. And I'll see how it prints out. But it's, if I just slow down and get some good lighting, I can pretty much make out everything I need to do with it. There's not much to this, but it's a cool little solo adventure to get you used to playing Death in Space, and it was worth it. It was like $4 for this while it was on sale, and it's kind of neat. The next thing I want to talk about is the Wretched. Now, the Wretched is not designed for Death in Space. This is um, I want to say it's a solo journaling game, but it doesn't really want you writing in a journal. You're using a voice recorder or some way of recording your voice like you're on a spaceship. But it is a solo game about being on a spaceship and all your crew members have died in some tragic way, and you're just going through the motions of trying to survive until someone picks you up. The reason I think this is cool for Death in Space, especially for solo playing, is you can pull some of the writing prompts that are here in the game and you can use them for getting your solo adventure started, or if you're just stalling for an idea. A lot of times we roll on charts to get words to get a story going. Here you can just roll or actually pull cards, and you can just pull whatever card and use that as a prompt to get your story going as a solo adventure. Um, here if you pulled, so each suit talks about very specific things. So the hearts talk about systems, different operating systems on your spaceship. If you pulled the 4 hearts, your comm system blinks into life, picking up garbled chatter from far off vessels. It falls silent before you can signal to them what were they saying. So here's kind of like a cool little prompt to get your story started. Your comm systems failed, you're picking up garbled chatter, and now you can get your story going. So I I just thought it was kind of neat. I haven't used it yet in that way. I just recently got this in the mail. I picked this up from the author. I'm going to put a link in the description before and below. Author even gave me a little card. I liked it a lot. It looks hand drawn, so kind of neat. Sometimes buying stuff from the authors is a lot better than buying it from some of the stores, online stores. But yes, so this is just something I got. I thought it'd be neat to use in Death in Space simply as writing prompts. It's just an idea I had, and we'll see how it plays out once I play Death in Space the next time. But I also will just be playing this as Wretched as the game itself because the game uses a Jenga tower, and you're pulling from a Jenga tower. Plus, you're using the cards to drive your story, and it just looks like a really neat game. Journaling games have always fascinated me. I like them. I think that's a great way to polish up your creative skills set with solo adventuring is playing some of these journaling games so that way you're just practicing your skills of coming up with stories. The last thing I wanted to talk about is Station Xenos. Okay, so this was a recent Kickstarter that I backed, and it is from Ink or Squid Ink, Deeply Dapper Games. I don't know whose symbol that is, but it's all compatible with Death in Space. This was a Kickstarter. It was actually a two-part Kickstarter. So it also, the first part of it was a standalone, this was from Squid Ink, standalone space adventure game where you got some rules and mechanics and you're just playing through a cool little survival game, I guess would be the best way to say it. Uh, just kind of going through an adventure using cards to create your space station, which I think is really neat. I have not explored it yet, and but there's not much to the game. Like these are all the rules. Back here are all the cards in the book, but I bought all of those separate for my game, so I wouldn't have to cut up my book. But this is a standalone Death in Space um, supplement. So right off the bat, I do like this pinkish purple color on the black versus always using the bright yellow. And that theme, that color theme, goes throughout the book. So it's really nice. Um, Table of contents. This will give you kind of an idea. It's really a supplement book uh, of a space station that you can adventure using the rules for Death in Space. So gives you some welcome stuff, but mainly here's how you use your module. Then the book gets into how to use this supplement either solo or without. You can play with other people without a game master or referee. So this will give you all that information. Like other games, there is or other supplements like Into the Weird and Wild has another sheet that you're going to use for tracking things that are specific to this setting. Here, you got a disturbance tracker. When you hit these bold boxes, you roll dice to see if an alien comes out. You got your area, the different areas that you've been to, and there's information that you're going to track while playing the game. So you're going to want to get a copy of that. I've got the PDF of this as well. So I'll be able to copy this off real easily. Um, but it's not difficult information, so you could get away without actually having a copy, but it just does make life easier when you do have it. So anyways, this goes through all the rules for this supplement, nothing too terribly complicated. And then you start getting into all the different rooms, and that's what the majority of this book is describing all the different areas that you can explore. There's a few different ways to play this game. You can play this where you're just randomly generating your space station and you're just picking the different areas and going into them and kind of generating or making your own space station. or you can just play in the station that's already made. It's all listed out to the different areas. You just use this as a map and you just go off exploring. So it's kind of cool. Gives you some options. I like having options when I am playing my games. And then in these different areas, you're going to get some flavored text, and then you're going to get things that happen. So you can find stuff, you can encounter things. It's just gonna be a variety of different things. One of the things that's cool is there's com boards, and what the author did is they actually took the time to write up a bunch of different messages that you can encounter on the different com boards or communication devices that are in the different rooms. And it's just neat, just adds a little bit more to the story, things that happened in the history. And you got a lot of them. So this is going to offer a little bit of replayability, because, all of these things are going to change the outcome of your story. So this is neat stuff. And then you got NPCs, people that are at the space station or maybe no longer at the space station, but you got a little bit of fluff on them, uh, just information to use. And then here you get into the backstory of what happened at the station, the events that took place. So you get a couple pages of fluff here, and then you got your two different types of aliens. So there's not a huge amount of creatures that you're going to come in contact with. You're either going to have hatchlings or adult aliens. But all their stats are done for you, all their special abilities, which is really nice. And here's another way of generating your station is by using a standard set of playing cards, and you can just draw your cards and build your station. So more options on how to play the game and build your station up. A little bit of information on how to use this for other game systems. Really just talking about the stats of your characters and how you can incorporate things, cross things over. So here's more encounters. So a couple different things with these encounters. You're going to have your alien hatchlings, you're going to have your adult aliens, but you're also going to have some traps that you can come into contact with, and just some little descriptive information for you to use. This talks about how you generate your encounters. Basically, your disturbances. You'll roll 2d4s to generate your encounter, or sometimes you'll have other like encounters that are going to be generated through the stories and stuff, and you're just going to roll a d20, and those will be what you encounter. So it's pretty straightforward. And then here are items that you discovered, and here are the traps. So everything is laid out quite nicely in the book, for you to just go through and check out Station Xenos. So nice little book. I got through Kickstarter. These were both, all of this stuff from this Kickstarter was all print on demand through DriveThruRPG. So I'll put a link in the description below for this adventure, if through DriveThruRPG, because I believe you can buy this all if you're interested through there. So, Space Station User's Guide. So anyways, that was everything I wanted to share with you in this video. Are these 3 little supplements that I picked up that I'll be using for future Death in Space games. And thank you for watching.